All right, there I am. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Legaleaze, please, our digital platform that is designed to decode, to demystify, and to deconstruct legal language. In short, we build you up by breaking it down. And this is what we are doing today. Today is our 1 year anniversary. Pew, pew, pew. I don't have, all of the accoutrements is the big word for what we are celebrating today. I don't have any of the things like that to make sure that we are in party mode. But yeah, this is where we find ourselves. And so I want to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. If you are here, please make sure that I see your face in the place. Also, make sure that you click like, love, and share because not only is this the anniversary episode of Legalese Please, we are celebrating 1 year. But also, I'm going to, as my gift to you, I am going to be teaching, and the focus of our lesson today is going to be on what I call the Riverboat Revolutions. All right. So as you come in, say hi to me, click like or love and share. And let me make sure I am where I'm supposed to be in these internet streets. And what you will see, which is a little bit different than usual, is I do not come alone, but I'm also bringing breakfast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because one of the things about getting free and being an entrepreneur is you care less and less about what people think. And of course, as I am getting ready to eat, rather, as I'm getting ready to try and eat, Grace, my 6 year old, has been up practically all night. And so when I was on Court TV earlier, she was asleep. 10 minutes to the time that I am to come on here and spend time with you. That's when she comes downstairs. So guess what? I got to feed her. I got to feed her. I cooked this great breakfast of scrambled cheese, eggs. When I tell you this is chef's kiss, and you know what she told me? Mommy, I didn't want that. I wanted salad. So now I got to find some salad, and I'm running and I'm hurrying and I am making all of the things. And then it occurred to me, I'm not finna stuff my face. I'm not finna do it. I'm gonna sit right on here on the internet and I am going to eat and teach because you're two. We're family. So this is what family does. We eat in front of each other. We don't care. So to be clear, I have negative 9 F's to give at this point because we family. Okay. So it's the anniversary show. Hey, Simone O'Shea, how are you doing? Thank you so much. Hey, Corey, good to see you. Hey, Sister Rosalind, glad to see you. Cactus Beach, I saw your TT and I'm excited for you on the. Well, I am glad that you are here. Thank you all so much. As I have stated, please click like and share because as part of the anniversary show of Legalese Please, I am also going to, as a communal offering, my gift from me to you, I am going to provide my legal expertise and analyses over, or rather on, the Riverboat Revolution. If you are not aware, because that's completely possible, we do not shame and we do not, blame. Uh, on Saturday in Montgomery, Alabama, there was a big situation. And the situation was that there was a security guard, a black man, who was trying to clear the waterway for one of the river boats. And there was a private boat on there with citizens there that basically was like, you can't tell us what to do. So much so that he was trying to find the owners of the boat, couldn't find it. And so he tried to engage in the protocol that is necessary to move the boat along, because this riverboat had been delayed and denied for a significant amount of time. Well, what had happened was transition is that the security guard was just trying to do his job, and then all of a sudden, one of the residents on the boat runs into him, literally runs into him, starts to commence to fighting. And you, based upon which video you've watched, you hear people, oh no, it's a little bit more conversation on there. But they are shocked because they are watching this security guard being tackled by 4 to 5 people. And when I say tackled, I mean being tackled. After he threw, his hat up in the air, which some people will say that was the bat signal, you have people that are watching this confrontation, and at first they feel powerless to stop it. At first, okay. But as the writer says, but that's not how the story ends, because all of a sudden, there were people upon people upon people who came to the security guard's rescue. And as a result, it was a day that will forever live, not in infamy, but in community, including the 16-year-old young man who jumped into the water and swam to this person's defense. Now, I have been watching, by way of transparency, I have been watching, laughing until I cried. All of these memes, these GIFs, these commentaries. I'm not going to use this platform, this space, this place to explain it. I would just say hashtag if you know, you know. Period. I'm not going to justify, explain that. If you want to know how I personally feel, come on my personal social media pages and you will see the posts that will show you how I feel. All right. So back to the comments. Hey T, love you, Sora. Thank you. I love you too. Hey Sister Mia, how are you doing? I hope you're enjoying your vacation. Hey Jen, how are you doing? Hey Donna Cartman, thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you. Happy anniversary. Yay. Jennifer says, happy anniversary, girl. So proud. Oh, thank you very much. Angela Delaney, thank you, my friend. Hello. Thank you so much. And Professor Monica, thank you so much. Thank you. I am very appreciative of you. Andrew, you said you're not alone. Yeah, I'm just, part of getting older, I should say maturing, is I'm not going back and forth with you viewers. I'm living my best life, okay? You pick up what I put down. I'm not going back and forth on this platform, okay? So there we have it. Thank you, Barbara Burke. I appreciate you. Hey, BT, how you doing? Love you. Thank you. Hey, Sora Laura, how are you? Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see all of you all. And so it is 11:18. I'm going to get into it. If you are coming in, please understand that I had totally prepared to eat my breakfast beforehand. And then my daughter comes down late because she done been up all night. And I cook for her. And next thing you know, it's time to get on. So you know what I'm going to do? I brought my breakfast with me because we family. Year 1 was about all the perfectionism and making sure we appear a particular way and all that type of stuff. Year 2, this is what you're getting. You're getting, as John Legend said, all of me in a professional way. Hey, brother, how you doing? Thank you for the shout out. I appreciate you. If you have not already, click like, click love, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want to say hello to Facebook land. I want to say hello to LinkedIn, and I want to say hello to YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching live or later. I could not do this without you all. And even if I could, it wouldn't be the same. All right. So we are going to get into what we are discussing today. Welcome to Legaleaze, please. I am Natasha L. Robinson, Esquire, not because they were giving degrees away, but because I have an earned law degree from the University of Wisconsin Law School. Not that you asked, but here we are, a undergraduate degree from University of Iowa in the concentration of English. And then I have a master's of arts in English from Chicago State University. All right. There ends all of my degreed selves. Okay. So in case you want to know, well, who is this person? How could she be talking about this? I just told you how I'm able to talk about it. Okay. If you have not already, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go in the search engine and type in Legaleaze, please, with the Z. Legaleaze, the E's part is an acronym. It stands for education, access or accessibility, zeal, which is exuberance and passion, and then ease, because we try to learn about the law in times of non-confrontation and lack of chaos. Okay, so that's my job. That's my job. Okay, that's right. Earned. I said earned. Okay, not purchased. I mean, I did kind of buy it, but that was through student loans. But I'm getting off subject. Just know this is all earned. All right. And so just trust that what I say is what I say. Okay. Just trust that what I say is what I say. I say. Isn't that what a Foghorn Leghorn said on the Looney Tune? I say. Hey, Zakor, how you doing, sis? I love you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. We are going to get into it. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, please understand, one, that I'm still going to be eating while I'm talking. And then two, I happen to know, wait a minute, I see some more love. Hey, Dr. Tony, how you doing? Dr. T, I love you so much. Thank you. Yes, you know, I love you and your family. Thank you so much. And to my other brother, my gorgeous brother, thank you so much. You know, I love and appreciate you, Dr. Michael Elam. Okay, so as I was saying, if you haven't already, click like, click share, because this is going to be good. I'm going to get in where I fit in and then get out. So yes, this is the anniversary show. It's a 1-year anniversary of Legaleaze, please. And my gift to you is a analysis. So they have not yet given information on about the charges and all that type of stuff. You know as well as I do. Do I ever wait for people to do something? I do not. I give you what I think is going to occur, and there's enough room in my analyses for error and for editing. However, I will say I do have a long track record where I'm usually right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is the Riverboat Revolution. I do not call it a brawl. I do not call it a riot. I do not call it uprising. I call it a revolution, because there were people who were like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And if you know all the backstories, and if you know the existence of Black people in this country, understand first that the history of Black people did not begin in slavery. I need you to understand that. It does not begin in slavery. It begins on the shores of South Africa and shores of the Caribbean and shores of South America and all over the world. And it is once enslaved Africans are brought here against their will, and they are kidnapped and sodomized and all of these crimes. That is not the origin story of our story. But it is within that story that the revolution occurs. And unlike what has been said in the past, this revolution was televised. Okay, it was televised. It was viral. It went all over the place. And so there are going to be different people that have different responses to this. And as I told you earlier, I'm not going back and forth with you viewers, because I'm living my best life. All right. So we're not even going to explain or justify that. Hey, Barbara Holmes Thompson, please give JT my love as well as your mom. Hey, cousin Carmen, thank you so much. You and Bishop, you almost had me in tears earlier, and you know why. I'll talk to y'all later about that. Hey, Keena, how you doing? Thank you so much. Hey, Warren, thank you so much. I'm just glad all my family is showing up. If you have not already, please click like and share. All right, we're going to go ahead and get on with the get on. Angela Delaney, I see you said you're going to get back to work. Yes, please. Whether you're watching live or later, this will be up on Facebook. It will be up on LinkedIn, and it will be on YouTube for you to watch and to share as well. And I think I'm going to make this a PDF so that if anyone has any question about anything, you can just slide this right on to them. Okay, so here we go. I hope you all can see that. When we are talking about the Riverboat Revolution, we are talking about now liability. We're talking about now liability. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Oh, hey, all my loved ones are coming on. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. We are talking about now. We've gone from entertainment, if you will, and edification, if you will, to education. So we've gone from, thank you, Jen, I appreciate you. We've gone from entertainment and edification, meaning why some of us hold this moment as a sacred moment. I don't have time to go into all of that. Just ask somebody or just get on social media and you will see all of the reasons why, as well as explanations, but not here. What I am focused on is the liability of the people who are involved. And there are two groups, to be clear. There is the liability of the people in the boat, the aggressors, let's just call them what they are, the aggressors. And then there's liability of the people that come to the defense of the security guards. So there are two groups. There are two types of liability that could occur. The first one is civil liability. Now, I know I said in my earlier description, I was just going to talk about criminal law because that's my area of expertise. If you're still taking notes about my degrees and my background, I had 12 and a half years in the law office of the Cook County Public Defender, representing persons charged with misdemeanors and felonies. And then after that, I taught 6 years in Chicago Public Schools at two schools, South Side and West Side, Pre-Law Academy. And then after that, I taught for higher education here in Chicago. And after that, I started my business. All right. So there you go. End of pedigree. So when we're talking about liability, liability is nothing than a bigger word talking about responsibility. How are these persons responsible, or how are they going to be held responsible by the law? There are two big areas of law. You have criminal and civil. Civil is where you are being sued, and criminal is where you are being punished. I will say that again. Civil is where you are being sued financially, meaning someone has to pay something possibly, or they have to refrain or start to do something. That's civil liability. Criminal liability is where you are punished because there is a restriction on your freedom, on your person. So you have to maybe be on probation or supervision, or you could face incarceration in jail or prison. Please also understand that when I talk about probation, that is still a limit on your ability to be free. So you still have to respond. You still have to report to probation officers, or if you're on parole officers and things of that nature. I am talking about civil liability right now, which is somebody got to pay something, or someone is accused of something and they're saying, as a result, you harmed me or injured me, and now you must pay. That is what the plaintiff is saying. So in this case, in the Riverboat Revolution, the possible plaintiffs could be the persons that received any type of harm or injury, physical, or harm or injury emotional. Okay. So as a result, let's say, for example, the security guard, he may be able to sue civilly the persons who beat him up and say, you need to pay me for harm and suffering. In civil liability, there are three types of damages. You have compensatory damages, which is compensate me for the expenses that I came out of my pocket, such as if I had to go to the doctor, if I needed therapy, if I had loss of wages or work, if I have to take my medicine, things like that. That is compensation, compensatory. The second type is nominal, which is, it's more like a significant, it's like a symbolic offering, a financial offering. And then there's the last one, which is punitive. Punitive is in to pay, where you have to pay regardless of what it actually costs me. You now are being punished, and you are an example to other defendants that if they do the same stuff, they're going to face the same consequences. Okay, so I just want you to be mindful of that. So possible plaintiffs, those are the people who are bringing the civil allegations, which says I'm harmed, I'm injured, you owe me for this. It could be the security guard. It could be anyone who lived through an emotional trauma. It could also be the people who were in the boat or the people who were on the landing, those that did not follow the protocol, did not follow the procedure, but they're trying to prove a point. And they're saying because these people, these strangers, they came out of nowhere and they just commenced to kabam me. And especially the lady that was hit with the chair, the persons that were hit and fell into the water. They could say that, they were harmed, they were injured. And as a result, who they are suing are the possible defendants, which we learned in law school. You always go for the defendant with the deep pockets. Deep pockets mean the pockets are big and long and enough to hold a lot of money. And so while you could sue the people individually, who you always want to go after, according to these plaintiffs, would be the people that can pay. In this instance, the boat company, the city of Montgomery, because maybe they felt that the city of Montgomery did not provide enough safety or enough law enforcement intervention. Okay, so you could sue the actual people involved, or you can sue the boat company, the city of Montgomery, and things of that nature if you are trying to recoup a particular type of amount. Okay, now civil liability. Who is civilly responsible? Based upon what we have seen and what we have heard and what we have read, the possible torts. Torts is nothing more than a civil wrongdoing. You could have intentional torts, which are torts that are done on purpose. It was not accidental. It was intentional. You can have negligence, which is a type of tort that says you didn't do it intentionally, but you should have been a little bit more careful because you had a legal duty or a legal responsibility. You broke that duty. There was a causation or a chain between what you did or failed to do and my injury and harm. And as a result, you need to pay. And then there is strict liability, which is no matter your intention or your recklessness or your negligence, there are some laws that said if you do it, you're done. Okay. If you do it, you're done. Okay. So that is my very brief 16 weeks in 6-minute explanation about civil liability. That is one area of law that these persons who were involved, they can be sued civilly if in fact those allegations are being brought. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. This is on point to assist those that need to understand the yes. Thank you so much, Mrs. Radden. I do appreciate that. Hey, Dr. Schaefer, good to see you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. If you have not already, click like, click love, and share because this is good information. And then as a backdrop, I believe that there is a press conference this afternoon where the city of Montgomery is going to be talking about the arrest warrants. I believe there are 4, the arrest warrants, which have already been sent out. Now, we don't know as of yet who has been arrested. But I'm gonna be watching this with my good eye to see who actually is arrested and who is not. Thank you so much, Kim B. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Okay, that's good to know, Mrs. Radden. So anytime you want to weigh in the comments, you can do so. Okay, so that's civil liability. We're done with that. That is not my area of expertise. However, I felt you needed to know about civil liability, because there's going to be a lot of legal language, and we want to make sure that we are not engaging in a type of uninformed information, where we are able to know what the language is. And more importantly, this is the existence of Legaleaze Please to build you up by breaking it down. Barriers of comprehension, barriers of accessibility, all of the things, so that you understand what is going on and how it could affect you. Yes, my good eye. Yes. And I mean, I have technically 4. My good eye. Yes. Hey, Attorney Donna Otis, thank you so much. Yeah, keep on minding your business and sipping your water, because this is just the beginning of the long game. If you have not already, click like, love, and share on your platform. So now this is my area of expertise. This is criminal law, criminal liability. This is my area of expertise, because if you were to break into my house at 3:03 in the morning and ask me questions about criminal law, after I tap your ass because you have now committed a home invasion, or at the best, a criminal trespass, I'm going to be able to give you this information, because criminal law is my area of expertise. So when you are reading this, hey, Dr. Sherry, thank you so much for your assistance and your presence. I appreciate you. When you are reading this graphic, I want you to read from left to right. Okay, there are 3 columns. The first column is the criminal charge. The second column is the crime classification. And the third column is possible punishment. All right, so we're reading from left to right. What we are doing is I am giving a analysis, a prediction on all of the laws that I have read about as it relates to the state of Alabama. All of the laws in the state of Alabama are listed in nomenclature or by labels. And so this particular area that we're going to be talking about is the criminal code, which means that all of the laws that have to do with crimes are going to be in this area. Okay, so I went through all of that. You're welcome. I went through all of that, and I said these are just the crimes that I think are going to be charged against the people involved. Okay, those that were the aggressors, as well as those who came to the rescue and protection of the security officer. All right, so here we go. Hey, Dr. Shayla, how you doing? I love you. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. Okay, so we're reading left to right. So the criminal charges, I believe, are going to be launched are the following. These are not all of them. This is just all of the ones that I could fit on this screen. Criminal conspiracy, which is a party to a crime. And I don't mean a party as if we getting down and we doing a 2-step. I mean party to a crime as in level of involvement. Usually there can be 4 parties to a crime. You have the principal, not the principal that is over a school. A principal, which is the main mastermind, the person who thinks about this particular alleged offense, what we're going to do. And then you have, after the principal, you have the accomplice. The accomplice is the helper, the person who is on the scene with the principal. They are not mainly in charge, but they can help with what the principal wants to do. So principal, accomplice, then you have accessories, not earrings or necklaces, but accessories, who are people that help before or after the crime has been committed, but they are not on the scene at the time of the alleged crime. So you have 2 types of accomplices. You have accomplice before the fact meaning before the crime. So I'm sorry, I said an accomplice. I mean an accessory before the fact. An accessory before the fact is saying, hey, dog, I'm not going to be on the scene with you when you commit this crime, but I can tell you how to get into that room. I can tell you what time the cameras go off. I can tell you what time there is a shift change. Okay, that's an accessory before the fact. They're the planner. They're the person that provides the ideas. Then you have an accessory after the fact. That is also a person who is not on the scene. However, they may help with the escape. They may help with the hiding. They may help with, I don't know where they went. And so what happens is when you're talking about parties to a crime, those people can be parties to a crime. It is not necessary that they are all present, and it's not necessary that they all be different people. Okay. But usually for accessories, Uh, Before and after the fact, they are different people. Okay. So when you get a call from someone and they say, "Hey, can you hold my bag?" The answer is no, because you don't want to be an accessory after the fact. And if someone says, let's just say hypothetically, I want to go into such and such, and I want to take money that doesn't belong to me. I want to. The word used to be commit a lick. Don't offer nothing. Don't do no hypotheticals. If you want to just talk about something, you come and you see me. Okay. All right. So criminal conspiracy is the type of crime that says, do this illegal action with me. That is different than solicitation, which is do the crime for me. So when we're talking about solicitation to commit first degree murder, we're talking about a person that says another person, hey, can you commit this crime of murder in my place? That is different than conspiracy. Conspiracy, if you think of Spanish and you think of con, C-O-N, that means with in Spanish. So criminal conspiracy is saying, hey, you want to do this with me? And it can be stated explicitly, or it could be implied on the low. And so what would happen is you would have, they did not in the law, in this particular law in the state of Alabama, they did not say what the punishment is for conspiracy. But I do believe they will say conspiracy to commit. That's the language that is usually used. A conspiracy to commit such and such and so and so. If you're coming in, click like and click share. And thank you, Ms. Radden, for tagging people. If you feel that there are people that need to watch, bring them over here. Okay, so now we get into the crimes. Remember, we are reading from left to right. The first charge after criminal conspiracy is assault in the first degree. That is a Class B felony. And the possible punishment, other than probation, is 2 to 20 years in prison. Okay, and assault in the first degree is intent to cause serious harm with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. This is where the chair comes in, allegedly. The intent to disfigure the person that you are assaulting, and it also includes language about recklessness, which creates a grave risk of death. So it could be argued that the man who was using the chair could have been engaging in assault in the first degree because the instrumentality of the chair is what may have caused the assault. Now, I will tell you right now, if I was still a practicing attorney, I would definitely represent these people. I just want to put that out there so you already know what perspective I'm coming from, but I'm staying neutral right here in terms of describing what the law is. Okay, so if a person is charged with this crime and they are pleading guilty and they are found guilty, either one, if they plead guilty of their own accord or if they are found guilty by a judge or a jury, the possible punishment, in addition to probation, if that's even a possibility, is that they are able to then get a possible sentence of 2 to 20 years. Things that are taken into consideration are the injuries of the alleged victim, the background of the defendant, if there's a criminal background, the manner of use of a weapon or dangerous instrument, and things of that nature. Okay. Then what is less than assault in first degree is assault in second degree. That is a Class C felony, which a person can be sentenced from 1 to 10 years in prison. That is when there is the intent to cause serious physical injury and the intent to cause physical injury with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. Now, chairs are not usually considered to be dangerous or deadly. However, we are talking about the instrumentality of this tool or instrument, the use of it, the manner in which it was used, the repetition in which it was used. And so that is what the prosecution can focus on. Now, as it relates to the people in the boat, I would definitely say that they could be charged with conspiracy as well as assault, because not only did they initiate, were they the aggressors of this aggression, but they did it in mass. They did it, a lot of times when you talk about people whose skin has been kissed by nature's sun, you always want to talk about a mob or a riot. I have not yet heard about these people that were in the boat that rushed this boat security officer. I have yet to hear any language that is associated with them as it relates to a riot or a mob. What I have heard is a brawl, okay, which is placing liability on both sides. And all I'm here to say is that there is a active aggressor, and the aggressors were the persons that were on the boat. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that anymore because I get upset when I think about that. Okay, then you have assault in the third degree, which is not a felony, rather it is a misdemeanor. Okay, and a misdemeanor is a type of crime where you are looking at 364 days or less in jail, and then supervision or conditional discharge or probation. And felony is the more serious, the more egregious type of criminal conduct and crimes for which you could be punished at least a year or up in prison. And in some cases, some states you could be put to death depending upon the severity of what you're charged. And in other states, you could be sentenced to life in prison. It just really depends because there is no uniform criminal code of law for all of the states. Each state has their own legislatures as well as their own laws. So it depends on what is going on in the state of Alabama. One of the other charges that I believe is going to occur is menacing. And menacing is a Class B misdemeanor. You can get up to 6 months for that. And the definition of menacing, let me see if I can find it. It's in Title 13A, the Criminal Code of the state of Alabama. Menacing is defined as if by physical action a person intentionally places or attempts to place another person in fear of imminent serious physical injury. Now, menacing is different than assault because assault has more of a contact, but menacing is if you just place them in that realm of physical injury or harm. And then I also think that there is going to be a charge of reckless endangerment. Reckless endangerment is defined in Section 13A-6-24 of the Alabama Criminal Code. A person commits the crime of reckless endangerment if they recklessly engage in conduct which creates a substantial risk of serious physical injury to another person. So arguably, it could be anyone who fell into the water or who were pushed into the water because there is no knowledge of whether or not they are able to swim. That is considered to be, or I won't say considered to be, I will say it could be argued that that could be reckless behavior. That is a Class A misdemeanor for which a person could face possible sentencing or punishment of up to 1 year. Okay, if you do not get all of the notes, or if you cannot see all of this because you are working, or if you are watching later, I am going to put this as a PDF so that you are able to review it on your own or in community, so that you can use this as a backdrop or as a teachable lesson when you find out, rather when we all find out what are the charges and what are the possibilities. Understand, this is not a catch-all list. These are just some of the charges that I believe are going to be filed based upon the number of videos that have been shown and perspectives that have been shared. Okay, now, if you are a defendant in this case, you still got, a little leverage. You still got a little leverage, okay? And the leverage is by way of what are called affirmative defenses. Affirmative defenses are when the defendant says, yeah, I did it. However, the law gives me a reason to do it, or they excuses me from it. Okay, I'll say it again. Affirmative defenses are saying affirmatively, yeah, I did all of that. However, the law as it is written gives me a justification or a reason to do what I did, or it excuses me from any type of liability. So whenever there's an issue of affirmative defenses, the defense usually has to offer, quote, some evidence of an affirmative defense. So you can't just roll up in there and say, I'm not guilty by reason of mental insanity or what have you. You got to give some evidence when it is your time to present evidence in your trial, if that's what you want to do. In affirmative defenses, the defendant is admitting to breaking the law. However, they're saying we got reasons. We got legal reasons for why we broke the law or why the law excuses our behavior. Now, this is for both groups, the people in the boat as well as the people who rode to the rescue. All right. Most affirmative defenses involve the defendant testifying. Not all of them. I have seen some cases where affirmative defenses have been offered, but the defendant has not testified for various amount of reasons. Now, affirmative defenses, as we know them, include necessity, which is I had to break the law because if I didn't break the law, then a bigger injury, a bigger evil was going to occur. So, for example, if my license is suspended or revoked and I drive, even though my driving privileges are suspended because my daughter is having a medical emergency, if I am arrested and charged with driving on suspended license, my affirmative defense is, yeah, I broke the law, but I broke it because if I didn't break it, my daughter was going to have a severe injury or she was going to die. Okay. Other affirmative defenses are self-defense, defense of property, defense of others, and insanity. So it's not just about, oh, that person is crazy. No, the law says that that person has to live with a mental disease or defect. And as a result of that disease or defect, they are unable to right their behavior to the expectations that the law has for them. Okay, so if there are defendants in this case, there are a couple of ways in which they can defend themselves. All right, now we're not reading left to right with this chart. We are reading up to down. So I want you to go in the first column, which says, can I prove elements? That's not an affirmative defense. The defendants can say through their lawyers, look, you don't have enough evidence to prove all of the elements or all of the ingredients of the crime. So rather than us put evidence out, we're just going to cross-examine the hell out of you. And hopefully you will not be able to show with evidence that we are guilty of these charges. So when you can't prove it, you're saying it's not enough evidence and it's not beyond a reasonable doubt, meaning every element, every ingredient of defense, the defense is saying, prosecution, you can't prove it. And the prosecution said, yes, I can. Okay. Second column, affirmative defenses are what I just read to you. Some of the affirmative defenses that these defendants could argue is use of force in defense of premises or property, where for that to occur, they have to say, look, we had to do what was necessary to make sure when nobody trespassing. Use of force in defense of person and self-defense. In Alabama, it's under the same statute. This is where the defendants who were not on the boat can say, look, I had a reasonable belief I was going to be injured. I was going to be harmed. I had to use imminent, which is immediate force, to prevent unlawful force being used on me. And I used the amount of physical force that was reasonably necessary. Okay. When you look at these words, there's going to be a lot of discretion where there are going to be people be like, well, I thought it was reasonable. And other people be like, I didn't. It just depends upon the representation of the persons in court, those that were in the boat as well as those that were off the boat. And then mental disease or defect, as well as intoxication. I talked about mental disease or defect, intoxication. I feel in my sanctified imagination that someone is going to say, well, because I was intoxicated, then that should be evidence to try and get me off of the hook of liability. So I hope that defense is not going to be used, but I feel like somebody's going to tap into it and use it. But the law is very clear on that, is that does not negate liability. However, it does provide relevance to any elements of the offense. Okay, so don't automatically get you off the hook because you was, turned up or turned off, because you weren't turned off when you was landing out in punches. But I digress. Okay, so we're going to the next slide. So here is what I hear all the time. What I hear all the time, irrespective of this case, is when people say they got the video, they got the photos, they have the recording. Why are we even having a trial? Why is there even a big deal to bring criminal charges? This is why, okay? Because there are different types of exhibits that exist in criminal court. Here are the three big kinds. Physical, which is what you can touch, like I can touch this. Testimonial, which is what you can hear when I testify under oath. And demonstrative is when there is something that can be used to assist you to further understand issues of the case. Okay, so physical evidence, testimonial evidence, demonstrative evidence. Some of them can be more than one, but usually physical and testimonial evidence, which is physical, what you can see and what you can touch, and testimonial, what you can hear. Those are the main pieces of exhibits that get moved into evidence. When I say moved into evidence, there has to be an official recommendation that they go from exhibits to evidence. Exhibits do not automatically become evidence unless, one, there is an objection by both parties, or one party objects and the judge overrules it. Okay, so you got to do some things in order to get exhibits to be part of evidence. And then the exhibits have to meet all standards of rules of evidence. You may not know this, but for anyone who has ever been in any type of legal profession, there are federal rules of evidence and there are state rules of evidence. And the rules of evidence is to say, look, we got to believe we said what it is if you're going to hold someone criminally responsible for their actions. And so how does this affect the videos that we have seen, the photos that we have seen, the commentary that we have heard? Is just because it is factual evidence does not mean it is legal evidence. So just because it is something that you would rely upon each and every day to help you understand what happens, that does not automatically mean it could be used in court. Okay? Two factors that you have to consider is the admissibility of evidence and the weight of evidence. The admissibility of evidence is foundation. Did the person who's trying to offer these videos, did they talk about the time, the location, the place of the video? Did they talk about anything obstructing it? How do we know that it came from this camera? Do we know that this camera was working or was it malfunctioning? Do we know that the person recording it did not splice it, or they did not put certain parts in it or manipulate it? That is foundation. Relevance is, what do these videos have to do with what happened at the Riverboat Revolution? Meaning, is this what's called cumulative evidence, which is just hyping people up when it's not really necessary to be used? I would definitely argue, get all the videos you can in and start with the time in which it first jumped off, which is where the security officer was doing what he was supposed to be doing, all the way to what happened after that. Hearsay. Hearsay is an objection that says, well, we heard it through the grapevine. Okay, but does the grapevine, can it be relied upon? Can it be proven? And then chain of custody, which is these videos that are on the phone. Who had access to the phone? Were these phones sequestered or were they taken on the scene? And you know how we are about cell phones. We'd be like, hey, wait a minute. First of all, I got photos in there I want you to see. Second of all, how my people going to reach me? Okay, so when we're talking about cell phones and we're talking about the tendering of information, even if they don't surrender their cell phones, how do they submit the videos? Do they upload it to something like the Dropbox or a Google Drive? So all of these are questions which distinguishes factual evidence from legal evidence. Just because we have it does not mean it will automatically be used. Okay. And then once you get over the hurdle of admissibility, now you got to talk about the weight of the evidence, which is just because we see it, does that now mean that these group of people are guilty, or these group of people are guilty, or these group of people are innocent, or the other people on the dock, are they innocent? Just because you have an expert coming in and testifying, just because you have a police officer coming in and testifying, that does not automatically uplift the evidence. You still get to consider, if you are the judge or on the jury, you still get to consider the believability of the witness who is testifying, or of the witness who wrote a report, or of the evidence of the videos or the photos or the conversations. Okay. It is not automatic. All right. It is something that, as lawyers, the prosecutors, first, they have to decide what charges they're going to bring. And then once they decide that, then the defense attorneys, whoever they are, whether they are appointed or whether they are hired, they then have to construct a defense. And the defense is, are we able to show that the prosecution can't prove it? Or are we able to show that the prosecution can prove it, but the law gives us justifications or excuses as to why we should not be held criminally responsible? Okay, so I done a lot of teaching in less than an hour, and I'm still eating my breakfast, which is now turned into lunch because I'm in Central Standard Time and it is high noon. Okay, so that concludes my presentation. I know I went swiftly, and I actually went through at least 4 law school classes in the span of 40 minutes. Okay, because I want you, this is why Legaleaze Please exists. This is why we're celebrating the 1-year anniversary. It's because a lot of times we only understand legal language if we are in chaos or confusion. And I don't want that to be our norm. I want to be able to have you read news or listen to news or be on social media and be able to engage in critical analysis and say, no, that's not right, because I want you to feel at ease with using legal terms in addition to hiring legal professionals. I want you to be able to fact check. So just because it's on the internet does not mean it's true. Did you hear what I said? Just because it's on the internet does not mean it's true. So we really need to start thinking about what we share. We can't be falling for the clickbait. Okay. We can't be falling for, if you've ever watched the movie with Eddie Murphy, where it says, I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Okay. We have to be critical thinkers. Okay. We came into this world, we came into this country being critical thinkers. I'm talking to my people now. Okay, so you cannot get on social media and think just because it has 10,000 likes that it has 10,000 access points of veracity, of truthfulness. If I was in church, I'd say you got to try the spirit by the spirit, but I'm not. So what I will say is check it, and then check it again, and then check it again. And don't be afraid to get into conversations with people where you're not attacking the person, but you are addressing the veracity of their claims. That is not a skill that should be solely relegated and assigned to legal professionals. It should be for everybody. But if everybody does not have access, then that is where we have the problem. And so it should not take you having to go to law school to learn, or for you to get a civil case or a criminal case to learn on the job. This is what I'm here for, and this is what I have been doing for a year and a day as I eat these good ass eggs. All right, so that is all that I have. I'm going to thank you so much for all of the wishes. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As I said, if you have not already, please click like, love, share. Okay? Walk into these conversations if you want to, because I also want you to protect your peace. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. But at the same time, if you should walk into these conversations, walk into these conversations with the truth. Okay? Walk into there with the truth. Okay? And I'm doing it because I care about you. I do it because I cannot get to all of these populations and say, that don't make no sense. Okay. But you can. You can learn, and the purpose also, Legalese Please, is to learn so you can teach. We're not trying to be silos of intellect, silos of knowledge. We're trying to get comfortable with the information so that we can break the system down from the inside as well as the outside. Okay? So that's what we need to do. Don't fall before the banana tailpipe. I've seen too many things on social media. I'm just like, Lord Jesus, if I were to teach on everything that was non-factual and actual, um, and charge for it, I would be balling. I would be balling out of control. Okay, so of today, if you wish to celebrate with me financially, and you want to say, here's a little good, like they say in church, here's a good, God bless you, and they press something in your hand of any amount, there are ways in which you can support this work: Zelle, PayPal, and Cash App. Okay, Zelle, PayPal, and Cash App. In addition to subscribing to the YouTube channel, in addition to following, I don't like the word following because that indicates a power dynamic. In addition to supporting and connecting, that's what I want to say, connecting with me on social media, things cost. Okay, having subscriptions that allow me on the internet in 3 different locations, that costs. Being able to engage in teachings, that costs. Being able to research and synthesize it in such a way where you be like, yeah, that girl is good. I am, and also I know what I'm looking for. But I am able to take 20 something years of experience. I think it'd be 24 years I'll be licensed. And I can synthesize it into less than an hour for you because I'm clear on my call. I am called to make sure that people do not die literally or figuratively because of a lack of knowledge. And not just a lack of knowledge and a lack of accessibility to knowledge. So you can know everything, but if you don't know where to go to get the information, it's kind of like you win the lottery and you know that you are now a multimillionaire. But the problem is, one, you can't find your ticket. And two, when you do find your ticket, you don't know where to claim your prize. I'm trying to prevent that. I'm trying to make sure that we do not have to enter into the civil legal system or the criminal legal system without lack of knowledge and without lack of access. Okay, so this is what I want you all to know. If you wish to, I won't say invest in this work, but if you want to make sure that this work continues, then I am lovingly asking you to give any amount for Zelle, PayPal, Cash, whether you're watching live, whether you are watching later. Okay, and so I am just very glad that you all are here with me. As I said, if you have not already, please click like, love, and share so that you are able to, yes, it's right on the bottom of my forever president. You have PayPal. Let me see if I can try and stop this from being a ticker so that it can just stay on the screen. Okay, so, oh, it's still ticking. Sorry. Okay, so Cash App is $Legalese Please, and PayPal and Zelle is my email, which is nlrobinson.esq@gmail.com. Okay. Yes, and thank you, cousin. It is an investment into our collective Black futures. Absolutely. Because as my sister-in-law, attorney April Prayer says, that you would rather invest in us now than invest in us as legal counsel. Because I assure you, yesterday's price ain't today's price. And so you would rather have a lawyer professor in me as opposed to a lawyer who has to represent you for whatever reason. Okay, so thank you, cousin. Yes, Cash App $Legalese Please, and then for Zelle and PayPal, I will put my email address so that you can share the love. And always, I thank you for all of your support. Okay. Are there any questions? That's what I want to ask. Are there any questions? Because I will not be an educator unless I first ask you to click like, love, and share, and then put your questions in the chat. Do you have any questions? Someone asked me yesterday when I did an announcement about this live, what would be the charges? So I already went over that with you. When will we find out the charges? I don't know. But what I read today is that there's going to be a press conference. And then if there's anything that I need to clear up after that, I will come back on and I will provide a very short explanation because I've already been on here 1 minute past an hour. Okay. I want to thank you all so much for being here. Legaleaze Please is really just getting started. I was on a court TV this morning. It was my 17th court TV appearance in a year. And today I was talking about the best friend murder case where a young man is accused of killing his best friend in Georgia. It's actually a retrial because the jury the first time could not come to a decision. And so it was a hung jury. So now he is being retried again for the same murder. So I was asked questions on that. I am going to be doing some teaching. In fact, yesterday I saw on the internet that the word is out that I will be doing some adjunct teaching. I'll be an adjunct professor in the fall in Chicago. I am going back to my old stomping grounds at Roosevelt University, and I am going to be teaching an intensive intro to criminal justice. And so I've been gone a year. So to be able to come back with my year experiences to the students is going to be a hoot. It's going to be a hoot. Okay. Also, I'm creating courses for the School of Global Citizenry, which is going to be is actually, I would call it a virtual community where you have people from around the globe learning about issues relating to religion, theology, civics, how to be a world citizen like that. I am still writing for Southtown Magazine. I'm still going to be on TV, and there are going to be a whole bunch of collaborations. So if you are in charge of a line item or budget, I highly suggest that you put me in it because the price is only going to go up. No, I'm just serious. Yeah. So, yes, that is what we are doing right here. So I don't see any questions or anything. You're welcome, BT. Thank you. I don't see any questions or comments. Thank you, Dr. Jamie. I love you. Thank you, Keen. I appreciate you. All right. So with that, as I said, whether you're watching live or later, whether you're on Facebook, on YouTube, or on LinkedIn, thank you for coming on this side of the internet to hang out with me. These are just educated and experienced in legal predictions, but we're going to see what we're going to see. I hope and pray that I'm often wrong. Seriously, because the only people that want to be charged is the people that want to be charged. Wink, wink. You are welcome, Mrs. Radden. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, T. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Dane. I appreciate you. Hey, BJ, how you doing? Thank you so much. Dr. Jamie said we are here for contracts and return. Please and thank you. Yes, yes, because you're going to get, if nothing else, an experienced and educated, relatable and accessible legal professional who is also single and who is a Black mama. I'm surprised, actually, my roommate has not run in here yet. But yes, when you think of Legaleaze, please also think of our faces. All right. You see her art all around me and behind me because I love my baby. All right, then I am going to end this live now. Like I said, be sure to click like, click share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey, Sarah, how you doing? Thank you so much. Thank you, Cactus Beach. I appreciate you. You all have an amazing day and happy anniversary to Legaleaze, please. Bye.